In this video, we will talk about how to find the interior and the exterior angles in a regular polygon. So a regular polygon is any polygon where all of the side lengths are equal and all of the interior angles are congruent to each other. So there are three formulas you should know. The first is that the sum of the interior angles of a regular polygon can be calculated as n minus 2 times 180, where n is simply the number of sides of the polygon. Now, the measure of one interior angle can be calculated using this formula, n minus 2 times 180 divided by n, again where n is the number of sides. And the measure of one exterior angle is just 360 degrees divided by n, again where n is the number of sides. So let's check out a couple examples. Let's say we have this regular hexagon here, so it has 6 sides. To find the sum of all of the interior angles, so remember the interior angles are these angles, to find the sum of these 6 angles, we can use this formula n minus 2 times 180. So I'll write the sum of, I'll abbreviate it as int. So the sum of the interior angles is n minus 2 times 180. So n is 6 in this case. There are 6 sides of the hexagon. So we'll say 6 minus 2 times 180. So 6 minus 2, that's 4. So 4 times 180, that turns out to be 720 degrees. So this is the sum of all 6 interior angles. Now, what if we just want to find the measure of one interior angle? Well, this formula says we can use the sum that we just found and simply divide that by n, so divide it by the number of sides. So I'll say 1, I'll abbreviate it again as int. One interior angle is going to be this value we just found, so the sum of all of the angles, 720, divided by n, where n is 6. So 720 divided by 6, that turns out to be 120 degrees. So that's what the measure of one interior angle is. And now to find the measure of one exterior angle, we can use this formula, 360 divided by n. So I'll write 1, I'll abbreviate it as ext. One exterior angle is going to be 360 divided by n. In this case, n is 6 sides of the hexagon. So 360 divided by 6, that is 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is one exterior angle. Now, just as a reminder, when we're talking about exterior angles, that's an angle that's formed when you extend one of the sides. So let's say we extend this side of the hexagon. This angle out here, this exterior or this outer angle, we just found is 60 degrees. And we found that one interior angle is 120 degrees. So for example, this angle is 120 degrees. And we can double check ourselves and make sure we got the right answer because these two angles, notice they combine to form a perfectly straight line, and a straight line has 180 degrees as the angle. So we can see that 120 plus 60 does indeed add up to 180. So that's just kind of a way to double check ourselves. All right, let's try one more example. Let's say now we have a regular octagon. So an octagon has 8 sides. Let's use these formulas again. So let's find the sum of the interior angles of this regular octagon. So we'll use this formula, n minus 2 times 180. So I'll say the sum of the interior angles. In this case, n is 8. There are 8 sides to the octagon. So we'll say 8 minus 2 times 180. So that turns out to be 6 times 180, which turns out to be 1080 degrees. So this is the sum of the 8 interior angles. So what's the measure of one interior angle? Well, we just found the sum of all of the angles, so all we have to do is divide that by n, where n is the number of sides. So we'll say one interior angle must be equal to 1080 divided by 8. And that turns out to be 135 degrees. So that's the measure of just one of these interior angles. Now, what about the measure of one exterior angle? Well, that's 360 divided by n. So we'll say one exterior angle will be 360 divided by n. n is 8 in this case. There are 8 sides. So 360 divided by 8, that turns out to be 45 degrees. Now remember the trick that we can use to double check ourselves. We said that if we have an exterior angle, so let's imagine that this side is extended. This exterior angle we just found is 45 degrees. And we said one of these interior angles is 135 degrees. So 135. Notice that these two angles should add up to 180 because they form a perfectly straight line which has an angle of 180. So 135 plus 45, that does add up to 180. So that's just a way to double check ourselves and make sure we got the right answer. So you can use these three formulas to find the interior or exterior angles of any regular polygon.